We have with us Mrs. BK Niveditha, Associate Director, HRPM, PP&PM and Scientist Selection Grade at the ISRO headquarters, Bengaluru. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us in the studios. First of all, ma'am, can you tell our listeners about the various organizations that are working under ISRO's aegis?
Okay, and thanks for the opportunity to having got interviewed today. With regard to ISRO, I would like to inform the viewers that Indian Space Research Organization is one of the government organization under Department of Space. So Department of Space comes directly under Prime Minister. Reporting will be for the Prime Minister. And then under Department of Space, we have ISRO, that is the Indian Space Research Organization, which has totally 7 major centers and 7 units. We also have 4 autonomous bodies and 1 regulatory mechanism called InSpace and 2 public sector enterprises. When it comes to autonomous bodies, we have Physical Research Laboratory, NARL, NESAT, and IISc, which is our academic institute. And major centers under ISRO are Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, which is at Trivandrum, then UR Rao Satellite Center, which is at Bangalore. These 2 are the lead centers for launch vehicle design development realization and satellite design development realization. We also have other major centers, which is the Space Application Center, which is at Ahmedabad, which involved in design and development of payloads for the satellites, and Liquid Propulsion System Center, which is again in Trivandrum, which is involved in design and development of propulsion systems for ISRO's launch vehicles and spacecraft. Apart from this, we have 3 more major centers, that is the Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota, which is our launch port or spaceport of India, providing launch complex and technical infrastructure for launching the launch vehicles. And we have a National Remote Sensing Center at Hyderabad. It is the payload data reception, processing, acquisition, and generation of data products for from imaging satellites. Then the most newest center is the Human Spaceflight Center, which is located presently in Bangalore in the headquarters campus, that is the Antariksh Bhavan, which is the lead center for human space program and sustained activities in space centers. Apart from this, we have other units like ISU, LEOS, MCF, IPRC, ISTRAC, IRS, which are supported in realizing and operation of the spacecraft and launch vehicles.
Right. Ma'am, can you tell us about this niche and latest, your center, the Human Space Flight Center in Bengaluru? What are its aims and objectives, and what is its major work?
Okay. The Human Spaceflight Center in Bengaluru was established in 2019. Till 2019, whatever human spaceflight related programs we were doing as part of the technology development activities and as a pre-investment. In 2019, government approved Gaganyaan program as a mainstream program of ISRO. That is one of the verticals apart from realization of launch vehicles, satellites and applications. This became the 4th vertical of ISRO, that is the Human Spaceflight Program, the Gaganyaan program. They are the lead center for planning and implementing the Gaganyaan program schedules, that is design and development of Gaganyaan mission. And actually, the entire mission will not be realized by HSFC. They are going to anchor the entire activity. Different centers in ISRO are assigned with responsibilities of realizing different subsystems of the Gaganyaan program. HSFC, the center which is here, will coordinate all these centers and ensure that the schedules are met, the programs are achieved, the program mandates are aligned, and the activities are well aligned. This is one major responsibility. Apart from that, HSFC is also involved in planning and implementing sustained human in space activities, because human in space, as everyone knows, is a very complex endeavor. It is not just realizing something and putting it in orbit and then monitoring in the ground. When we send human in space, their biological aspects need to be studied. Their physical aspects need to be studied. And when they are there in space, what kind of experiments have to be carried out. So all these planning has to be done. So when we are thinking about human in space, we need to have so much of complex test facilities that needs to be established. Presently, ISRO is in the process of establishing all those critical test facilities which are required to put human in space. So apart from that, they are also working on various test facilities and activities that are need to be carried out as part of continued sustained human in space. So after sending once, is it the end? No, we need to continue it. So if we are going to continue it, then what are the different types of activities we need to do? So what kind of experiments we need to do in space? So how are we going to collaborate with other international players who are already in space? So these kind of activities planning and implementation process will be done by HSFC.
Also, can you tell our listeners about the work of the National Remote Sensing Center?
Yeah, this National Remote Sensing Center is one of the primary centers of ISRO, that is Department of Space, which has the mandate of establishing ground stations for receiving the satellite data, generation of data products, dissemination to the users, development of techniques for remote sensing applications, including disaster management support and geospatial service for governance, as well as capacity building in different community. That could be students, that could be faculty, that could be researchers, it could be NGOs. So their main duty is to provide with the satellite data, ensure that they provide adequate information to different user agencies as demanded.
And what about the IIRS, Indian Institute of Remote Sensing? What work does it perform?
Indian Institute of Remote Sensing is the key center for capacity building in remote sensing and geoinformatics technology and its application. Originally, it started as Photo Interpretation Institute in 1966. Later, it has evolved and now it is an independent unit which is basically providing capacity building programs like making people aware about various geoinformatics and remote sensing data, its usage, and then training them how to use them. They conduct various kinds of courses for different kinds of end users, starting from students to the professionals.
Can you also tell us about the various new projects that ISRO is working on? Because now, as we all know, that it is one of the country's premier institutes, and also it has a huge reputation in the world's space launch.
All of us are knowing Gaganyaan is the most happening thing now, which ISRO is involved in. And putting human in orbit is the most challenging and the most upcoming activities of ISRO. Apart from that, ISRO is involved in various design and development activities. Recently, we also demonstrated our reusable launch vehicle capacity, one more experiment, that is landing experiment which we did. ISRO has laid down as part of Vision 2047 Viksit Bharat plan and Space Vision Plan, we have envisaged establishing Bharatiya Antariksh Station by 2028. And also ISRO has planned for man-human landing on moon, that is the Indian landing on moon by 2047. And towards this, host of activities, host of lunar missions and other orbital missions are planned. And also in terms of launch vehicle, new generation launch vehicle, Surya is also planned by ISRO, which is going to help in establishing the completion of Bharatiya Antariksh Station as well as human landing on moon. So these are the major activities which ISRO has planned as part of its exploration plan. This is over and above the ISRO's mandates for supporting realization of missions for strategic user as well as other civilian applications.
Ma'am, one question that we would like to know from you is that on the 23rd of August, we celebrate the National Space Day. And as we all know that on the 23rd of August 2023, India was able to land its rover on the lunar South Pole. So is there any activity or any campaign that ISRO is taking up to popularize space in particular and science in general among school and college students?
Yeah, many activities have been initiated to impart knowledge about the space and to instigate the youngsters to think about the space and its activities, its challenges. ISRO has been conducting host of events like open sessions, seminars, workshops, quiz, and so many other contests in almost all zones of the country, almost all states of the country. So our centers have looped in different institutes, universities, and then conducted these activities. These are the zonal activities which have started almost from June, July itself. So it has been happening. We have touched even the remotest place of Lakshadweep and Andaman Islands. So we have conducted programs for them also. This is about the spread out activities of ISRO. The main activity which is going to culminate will be in Delhi at Bharata Mandapam on August 23rd. We have a full day event planned starting from 9:30 till 9 o'clock in the night.
Wonderful, ma'am. We thank you for joining us and sparing your valuable time and giving us insight into various facets of the Indian Space Research Organization and its different institutions. Thank you so very much for talking to Akashvani. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Thank you.